And good morning, everybody. It is Fabulous Friday featuring Daniel Browne. Now, Daniel is another Brit who I had to meet in America at a Hypnothoughts Live conference. And Daniel, you are wonderful and you have a very special niche area because you educate everybody and you train and you speak and present on LGBTQ. And it's very much needed. And, it's wonderful to have you on here. And of course, I'm going to get to see you in person again at the Irish Hypnotherapy Conference. So, Daniel, please take it away. Tell us about you.
Okay. First of all, thanks for having me on. And I think you're right about, English hypnotists. Most that I know I've met in America, rather than at home and events here. It's quite funny that. But yeah, I specialize in working with LGBT plus communities. I kind of fell into that niche, really. I'm part of that community myself, and just found over time I was working with more and more people from those communities who were coming to me because I am gay, because I'm part of that community. And I thought, you know what, there's a real need here, actually. So that's going to be my thing. So kind of fell into it, but probably for about 10 years now I've been specializing in that.
Yeah, I love it. And when you speak and present on it, it's like that. I can only imagine that people are fascinated because some people just don't know enough about it. It's like, well, what does that actually mean? So can you educate us a bit on here as well, Daniel?
Yeah.
It's like confusing for some people.
It is. I find that. And actually, I find a lot of the time that people are maybe a bit more clued up about it than they realize, but they just don't have the confidence. And that is what is lacking more than anything else, the confidence to work with these communities. And I also find that people don't realize that there's more to learn. They might say, oh, I'm fine with LGBT people. I support them. I'm happy to work with them. Mm-hmm. And only when they come to one of my classes do they think, oh, there's so much more to it, actually. There's so much around terminology and identities. There's so much around the way you tailor your treatment to suit the identity, the person that you're working with. So people tend to find they get a lot from it and really boost their confidence as a result.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember I worked with a young lady, and I hadn't actually. She was absolutely delightful, and I had I had an inkling that she was gay, but I didn't know. And we were working on something else, on some fears that she had and some things that had happened to her that weren't very nice. And she wanted to release those because they were affecting her confidence. And so that's what I was working with. And then it was quite interesting. All of a sudden, she came into my room one day, Daniel, and she went, oh, thank you. And I went, what? And she goes, I'm gay. And I went, great. And I just said, and I went, and I thought, well, I knew that, but I didn't say anything. I just went, okay, and tell me more, And she said, I thought I wanted to be a boy. Mm-hmm. And she goes, it was just brilliant because I had this revelation, and it was because of something you said, and I had no idea what I said. It was like, and it kind of just clicked. And I'm gay. I don't need to. I'm okay in my body, and it was just such a relief for her that she didn't want to be a boy and go through a sex change. So now that was really eye-opening to me. And I was just, of course, with her, and that's great. And, what else are we going to work on today? And, that's really good. And she goes, you're the first person I've told. And I went, okay, great. Let's celebrate. And it was so, I mean, does this happen with you as well, Daniel?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and I find it happens a lot with trans people, actually. And of all the LGBT plus clients that I see, probably about 70% of them are transgender, or they're questioning their gender or questioning their identity in some way. And quite often there's those light bulb moments where they finally figure it out from the discussions that we've had, maybe from some kind of affirmative hypnosis that I've done to help them explore in a positive way. Okay. They've said, actually, yeah, I'm this. Now it makes sense.
Yeah. And then they can feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have messed up as well. I don't mind saying. You know, and they both came. The mum was there as well, because I do help with a lot of fears and things like that. And actually, I didn't mess up. I just didn't do it as well as I could have done, I don't think. And I probably thought, that's what I need, more training. She wanted to be identified as a boy. And it was, and I wasn't the only one. The mother kept saying she and her as well. And it was just like, and instead of they and them. And it was just like, but she was so feminine. And it was just like really difficult to kind of like do that. How do you get over that when it's like, because it is difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, mistakes happen, and even I make mistakes. I might be working with someone for a long period of time, and I've had this with friends as well outside of therapy, where they've had one name and one set of pronouns, so he, him, she, her, and then that's changed. And obviously there's a will and a commitment on my part to get that right and respect this person sitting in front of me. But mistakes happen. And I think the most important thing is to own it, hold your hands up, own that mistake, apologize, and then commit to getting it right the next time. So many people try to wing it. And I think just own it, apologize. And most people will appreciate that mistakes happen, actually.
Okay, I thank you, because I did. I went, sorry. I said, I got that wrong. And so, okay, thank you for affirming that for me, because it was like, because it's like, who do I talk about this with, and actually you're the ideal person to supervise other people in this area, because like you say, own it then, and say, apologize. In fact, that's what I've always done with my kids as well. I'm a parent, I make mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. And also it's okay to ask questions as well. If you're not sure what name, what pronouns, what terminology you should be using, ask a client, and they'll probably appreciate you taking an interest and wanting to get it right.
Yeah. And it's interesting because, again, I had another young person in here. And again, it wasn't dealing with that, but she was, and I didn't even know, and the mother never told me either, that the daughter identified as a boy. And again, she looked like a girl, and she, I mean, it was like just sort of like goth wearing. So that all looks sort of like just gothic anyway. So I was, again, it was like she actually, and she brought me up on it because I said, I can't remember. It was something to do with, I said her instead of child. And she actually said, next time when we do that, can you say child? And I went, yeah, of course. She goes, because I actually identify as a boy. And I said, thank you for telling me. I said, that's really helpful. And I'm really pleased, and I said, thank you for, bringing that up. And I said, I'm glad you felt comfortable enough to, to point that out to me. And I said, absolutely. And ever since then, I've actually never said a he or a she. I've always said child. Going back to when you're a little child or something. And it's like, yeah, interesting, isn't it? So I learn, and that's what's brilliant about it. And I think this is really important for everybody to understand, that we are learning as well as we go along with our clients, because everybody's unique and we're not quite sure what is going to happen. So it's all enlightening. We're all learning.
Yeah, it is. And there is always something to learn. I'm still learning all the time as well. And this is my niche. It's my specialism. But I'm still learning too. And there is always so much that as therapists, we can learn from clients.
Yeah. And thank you for saying that this is your niche and you're still learning. And you're right. I'm still learning with mine as well. I mean, goodness me, it'd be a terrible thing, wouldn't it, if we knew it all? Because that's the moment we don't know anything.
Yeah, no one likes to know it all.
Absolutely. And it's important that there is always still more to keep on learning. So now I know that you have some books. You've written some books. Have you got them with you?
I have, and no, I haven't. I should have been more prepared for this and thought, the books, let's have them, let's show them on the screen. But no, they're not here.
So where do we find them?
You can get them on Amazon. So it's a series of books, How to Be an LGBT plus Affirmative Therapist. And it's just a very practical, very hands-on guide. I'm not that big on theory. I'm a very practical person. And it's kind of, these are some of the issues. This is the identities. This is the terminology. This is how you work with it all. So there's 2 parts to that. And the third one is coming soon.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, so we can all find those on Amazon, and I expect that they're on your website as well.
Yeah, on my website too. Yeah.
Because it is important, I think, for everybody to have those, even if they're like, oh, this client's coming, then you can go through and find something useful. It's just resources, and then you're going to be speaking at the Irish Hypnotherapy Conference as well.
I am. I'm looking forward to it. Dublin is one of my favourite cities in the whole world. I love it. And it's been a few years since I've been there. So yeah, really excited to be going to this conference and presenting there and seeing everyone else's presentations.
I know, I'm excited. I've never been to Dublin. In fact, I've never been to Ireland. And then I'll be hopping over in. Sorry, I use hopping a lot, don't I? It's because of the bunny talk process, I suppose. I'll be hopping into England as well to see family and friends and train the bunny talk process again on the 12th of April. But it's so yes, and hopefully you're going to join me then, aren't you, for the training for the bunny talk?
Yeah, on the Monday after the conference. Yeah, I've got a very late flight back home, so I have that whole day free to come and get involved in that.
And of course, it's a hands-on thing. You've just said you like very practical things, so absolutely. So yeah, great. And so tell me, what else? What's next for you, Daniel? What are the goals or things have you got planned for yourself?
So I always say that I like to travel around. I like to sprinkle fairy dust wherever I go, and that's kind of always my plan. Where am I going to sprinkle fairy dust next? So obviously Dublin in a few weeks' time. I'm looking forward to getting back over to Hypnothoughts in July, presenting there again and seeing everyone. There's the next part of my LGBT book coming out as well, and I'm looking forward to delivering more training, whether it's in person, whether it's e-learning. Basically just keep spreading the word on working with LGBT plus clients.
Yeah, it is important because it's I think what I've found is that the reason why people may be so against it is actually fear. They don't understand it, and they think it's going to be like another pandemic or something that is going to affect them, that it's going to rub off, and then they're suddenly going to I don't know, like it just some kind of disease. And it's like, have I got that right? Would you say that's what
do you know, it's funny you say that. My best friend growing up is straight, and we're just really good mates. And I remember his dad trying to stop our friendship because he was scared that his son would catch gay off me. Like it is a disease. Like I sprinkle fairy dust and they turn gay. So yeah, people do still think like that, even though that was kind of 20, 30 years ago. People still have those attitudes, and a lot of it is rooted in fear, not understanding, and the negative messages that they see online in the press and so on, believing what they read.
Yeah, it's I know. And then there was I was a teenager in the 80s, and of course there was the whole AIDS thing. And it was them. I can only imagine how terrifying that must have been for the gay community because of the prejudice, the hate.
Yeah, the stigma. Yeah, absolutely. And we're seeing now a lot of those attitudes from the 80s, the early 90s towards gay people. We're now seeing all that kind of stuff rehashed, but about trans people. So we've got a long way to go, but what's really good is more and more therapists are undertaking training on this, expanding their learning, exploring their own feelings and understanding of it, and working in more affirmative ways. And that's what we really need. Yeah.
And in fact, I don't mind saying I had somebody asking me if the hypnosis could help them change their identity. could help them change that, could help them change, no, I mean, as in go back to, or actually say, or it was a parent asking if I could change their child.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, I said, no.
Yeah, good. It's scary.
I said, no, but I said, I can help you accept them.
Yeah.
And I said, we can explore that. How would that be? Because it's it's quite interesting, isn't it? That people and okay, and this is another I don't know, not an argument, but a discussion I've had with people. Nurture and nature. Okay, can you, as you say, can you catch it? Can you suddenly be turned gay, or are you born gay?
Yeah, people are born that way, in my opinion. Thinking about my own upbringing, if it was nurture, I'd have definitely turned out straight, because I was kind of molded into a man is this, and a man gets with a woman, and this is what a man does, and so on. And that weren't happening. So it's definitely nature. Yeah,
I believe it's nature. And I even remember when one of my sons was little, and we went to another friend's house, and there was all this dress up stuff, and there was 3 little boys, and the two boys went for the army outfits, and and that was what they chose, the guns, the axes, the I don't know, Indian outfits, so that's what they went for. And this other little boy, and he was very delicate. He came down because they'd gone dressing up, and she'd got an older daughter as well, and he came down in a little fairy outfit, and it was just like, but the boys never minded. They were all playing, everything was playing. We were just like, okay. It was like, okay, but you could see that he would probably be gay, and that's okay.
Yeah, and he might not be. Maybe he just likes dressing up like that. But it's good to just let kids explore, and let's just see who they are, and accept that.
And you're quite right. He could have just liked doing that, but I don't think he did. I think there were so many other things, and that's okay as well. And actually, we don't know. Maybe he did turn into a transgender as well, but that's his choice, isn't it?
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows? But I do believe it's nurture, that you just are that way, and it's not
nature. Yeah.
So it's like, nature. Did I say nurture? So nature, and it's not imposed on you, and it's you just born that way. And again, it's acceptance. The acceptance needs to. It's yourself. Oh my gosh, I think that's the biggest thing, isn't it?
Yeah, self-acceptance. And I think if people around you are accepting, then that makes self-acceptance much easier.
Yeah, because actually it doesn't need to be your whole identity anyway. The sexual side, that's not you. You are something else as well,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, I talk about being gay a lot, and I talk about gay stuff a lot, but actually it is only a little part of me, and there's all these other parts that make up who I am as a human being.
Yeah, I mean, you're a dog lover. Have you got spaniels or working cocker spaniels?
2 Springer Spaniels.
Springer Spaniels. So I used to have a working cocker spaniel. She was my heart dog. So we could then talk about dogs. Do you see what I mean? It's not always about this. It's about, walks. I know you go for a lot of walks in nature. So do I. It's like it's about that. There is so much more to a person than their sexuality. So
yeah, there is. But a lot of people focus on that one thing, and actually they just maybe need to lighten up, accept it, accept the person as the being they are.
Yeah. It's just like, move on. And if you don't like it, dismiss them. Bye bye. Yeah, just everybody go their own way. Like, I'm okay, you're okay, or we're okay. It's like, please, can we just live in harmony?
Yeah.
You know, absolutely. So anyway, I'm excited to see you at the Irish Hypnotherapy Conference. Have you been before to the actual?
I haven't. No.
First time.
It's
It's
my
my
first
first
time.
time. So yeah, I mean, it's everybody. If you haven't bought your ticket yet, get your tickets. It is you get the banquet at night time. Apparently, we've got there's a stage hypnotist comedy show. There's the food. We've got lunches. It's like, yeah. It's I'm looking forward to it, and I'm so looking forward to seeing all of our wonderful hypnosis community again. It'll be really good fun. So all right, thank you for coming on, Daniel, and thank you for watching, everybody. So it's goodbye from me, Claudia Rickard, and it's goodbye from
It's goodbye from me, Daniel Browne.
So take care, everybody. Have a good day. Bye.